Happy Friday, everybody. Episode 75, Two Chaps, Many Cultures. Do it with me. Take a deep breath and release. This is what we're going to talk about now. Hey, welcome everybody. Two chaps, many cultures, and maybe you might even hear a dog. So it's two chaps, many cultures, and one dog.
So
Happy
that makes
Friday.
8 legs, right? If I do the math right.
Yeah, that's 8 legs, and the mouthy snout with pointy teeth. Take a breath, people, and maybe take a walk. Why did we call it that, Brett?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a personal thing. Well, for me anyway, this week I probably could use that time, and rather than just switching off altogether, hey Jacqueline, how are you? This is, hey, we've got the person in the room here can tell us how to do this. Jacqueline is a master at this, at bringing people to the water of taking a rest, taking a step, taking a step back, bit of a rest, bit of a pause, breathing. As you said, you opened it up with breathing, belly breathing, and every now and again we just need to take a good break and reflect on what we've been able to achieve. It's not as if we're zoning out, right? We're not talking about zoning out. But when you work across cultures and you work with different people with different styles, it takes an extra bandwidth of your mental capacity to do that. And I guess what we need to, even more so in those cases, take a breath and take a pause and reflect on what we've been able to achieve. How does it go for you, sir?
Well, I'm happy that this virtual style of interaction that we've been practicing for months now limits the exposure to myself up to here, because when I do a deep belly breath, you don't see my gut sticking out, which is a good thing. So as I'm taking a big belly breath, I'm reminding myself that it's gonna be all right. And so that some of that pressure to perform that I feel, that most of you, I suspect, feel throughout the week, is released a little bit, right? And I had this experience again just this past weekend, as my family and I had the opportunity to attend a wedding at the Atlantic coast, and I took an hour in the morning every day to walk along the beach. You don't need a beach to do that. You can do that around the block that you live. You can go into the woods. You can go up the mountain. You can go into the desert. I don't know where you go. Just go away from the desk. Go outside of the building, outside of the office, and into nature. Just breathe. Walk. And let your mind, what's the word? Let it clean out. Let's empty the cache. I think that in IT terms, empty the cache. Make the processor run clean again, and just air it out. Air it out. That's what I am guilty of not doing enough. And when I did it last weekend, it reminded me of that. And Brett and I talked earlier today. We thought, let's make this the topic of our call today.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Karen says you don't need a beach, but it doesn't hurt. I would agree. It wouldn't hurt, but I remember this vividly. I hated it as a kid. I was a preteen, and my grandparents took us into the mountains, into the Alps, for their hikes. And I have this vivid memory of my grandmother's corduroy pants making that sound every step that she took. That corduroy was making this, and that
George
along
Costanza style, right?
right, and that along with the sights and the smells and the gravel that I felt under my feet, it was like, nah, I don't want to be here. But as a kid, I didn't get it. Now I really enjoy going up the mountains and breathing the pine tree scented air, or the dirt and the mulch, or whatever it is, or the cow manure on the pasture over there. It doesn't really matter. It is a state break from that clean and pressure cooker style environment of our desks and the screens at which we stare or scream or frown or whatever it is we do. So taking that break and airing out our processor up there would be a good thing, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And this is a bit of a new beginning here. We've got a couple of people joining here. Actually, this is our first time, by the way, on LinkedIn. We have been graced with the fairy dust, by the way, of broadcasting on LinkedIn. And I noticed that Jacqueline and also Mike. Hey, Mike, how are you, mate? Another one of Canadian mates. How are you, mate? Are joining us on LinkedIn. So with another reason for us to breathe and give thanks and say, you know what? Things worked out, because it took us a while. It took us 75 episodes for LinkedIn to go, oh God, I guess we got to take notice of these guys, and so they don't kick us in the shins anymore, and give them the keys to the gate. So thank you for joining us on LinkedIn. Hopefully, and obviously it's working. So, but yeah, no, I agree with you. So this is again good for me too, and we sometimes don't practice what we preach as trainers, as coaches, in what we do, right? We are telling our clients this. We're saying there are different tools, whether it be journaling, writing a diary, whatever is your practice mode, yoga, all that kind of thing. We're saying, try these things because they will help you. And I find myself actually neglecting my own, not walking the talk when it comes to that kind of stuff, and using the walking vernacular. So it is always good to have somebody that can check you, and an accountability partner to say it's time to do that. If you've got a life partner you live with, maybe that's it. But it is a good reminder. Again, we're on Friday. It's a particularly, I don't know, a time where people are under stress and thinking about a lot of issues in terms of health and fit and wellness and disconnection from people that we otherwise would be connected to. But looking around and giving, one of my big things years ago was a gratitude journal. It was just a thing of saying, right, there are some crazy stuff going on, but there are really some great things around you in your immediate vicinity that you can point to. And taking a breath and stopping gives you the space to do it. If you're not, it's hard to write and walk at the right time. I can't do two things at once. But
well, you can dictate it to your device if you wanted to. And
yeah, but then against another device, I gotta go.
Yeah, that's true. And yet, I have to say this. I mean, the freeing your mind, or letting go of the stuff that you've done in this past week, or that you've done that day, or in the hour before you took that breath and maybe went outside. It doesn't mean that you stop doing. It doesn't mean that you're not performing. It means that you're in NLP, we call it, you do a state break. You enter a different physiology. You're standing up, you're walking, you're smelling and seeing and experiencing a different environment. And that may as well trigger new ideas, new thoughts. Allow those thoughts to come up. There might be great ideas. They might be crazy, stupid ideas, like doing a weekly broadcast on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook.
Or a
Stuff came
daily
up
one,
like
for
that.
that matter.
I don't know who had that crazy idea. However, allow those thoughts to come up, and yes, journal them or dictate them, or maybe have a walking buddy that you can bounce that off with. I had the best thoughts for business. I had the best ideas and new directions into which I wanted to go on these walks, and ideally with somebody that I respect. It could be my partner, it could be my coach. I had these I had coaching calls as I walk, either as a coach myself or as I would encourage you to take a walk and with somebody either physically present and 6 feet apart as you do it, or maybe you put your earbuds in, only one because the other ear is paying attention to your environment. But after you take that breath, after you've aired out your cache and you find new focus, you find new oxygen, allow those new ideas and thoughts to percolate and pop up and capture them. You might surprise yourself what you can come up with.
That's right. Here's a note though, write them down, because I had a discussion with Christian earlier today and I said, I came up with this really great idea earlier today and now I forget what it was. It's you got to have, you got to record it. Because it just, you come back to your desk and you think, no, I'm going to remember that. And then you come back to your desk and then life takes over, business takes over. So just remind yourself of that. I mean, great lyricists. Bono was a great one for this. Scribbling down in the pubs of all their best songs are written in the pubs of Dublin. Sitting around and just absolutely. I wish I was as intentional as that. Is just being able to have a piece of paper with you and write your stuff down, right? And because they will leave your brain. But anyway, many ways to look at it. We'd be interested in hearing from you to let us know how you approach it.
Send questions, comments, ideas. And now that we're streaming on LinkedIn as well, there's multiple ways to do this, right? Now, hopefully the fairy dust of LinkedIn will also extend to me. As of now, it's only been extended to this guy, but hey, who's complaining?
Well, I'll put in a good word at the board meeting when,
Just breathe through it, Christian. It'll be all right.
Breathe through it. Breathe through it.
Breathe through it.
All right, guys. So next week, I think we've got some guests. Maybe we'll see. Maybe not.
Maybe it's just the two of us. Either way, take a breath. Go outside. Do something else. Find the balance. Recharge the batteries. Clean out the cache.
Thanks for joining. To Karen, Jacqueline, Mike, anybody else who was there. If you didn't comment, if you're hiding in the bushes, maybe you're on your walk and you can't type. Right? Maybe that's it. Maybe we've interrupted your walk and we're sorry about that. But
maybe they're way ahead of us, Brett.
Maybe they are. All right, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. Very grateful for everybody that's watched. Share it. Share it with your friends. Maybe they might get something out of it too. And we'd love to hear from them. So thank you again. Have a good weekend. You have a good weekend, my friend.
You do the same, Mike.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.